What is going on, everyone? Matthias here, Performance Fitness, and today we're going to be doing a review of the new Nike Metcon 4, okay? So I posted in my Instagram stories a couple of days ago if you wanted for me to make a review on this new Nike Metcon that I recently got a couple of weeks ago, and most of you voted that you did want for me to make a review, so that's what we're doing today. And if you're not following me on Instagram, what the hell you're doing, like, here's my link, go follow me right now. Let's get into a review. So I'm going to be trying to divide this video into pros and cons when it comes to the Metcon 4, because I actually don't give much of a structure to my videos, but maybe today is going to be a good day to start, okay? So first off, with the new Nike Metcon 4, the reason why I actually bought it and the reason why I think this shoe is great is because it's a very versatile shoe, okay? You can go and do a ton of things in this shoe, and this shoe is going to perform decently good in most of the categories, okay? So I actually tried this shoe for squatting, for deadlifting, for benching, for doing clean jerks, snatches, doing like all of the Olympic lifts, because I'm not currently doing Olympic weightlifting, but I did last year, so I wanted to just check out how this shoe fared when it comes to the Olympic lifts, and I can honestly say that it really performed decent when it comes to all of these movements. I liked it much better when it comes to benching because I really like the grip that the shoe gives, okay? The shoe actually have very good grip, so if you do want the shoe for all, like things like climbing, things like rope climbing when it comes to CrossFit and stuff like that, or even when it comes to benching or squatting, you want very good grip in the shoe, this shoe is going to really deliver that, okay? So I really like this shoe for benching for the reason because it really gives you that very good grip to use the leg drag when it comes to bench press. And when it comes to squatting, they are decently stable, okay? They're not something like an Olympic lifting shoe that this is going to actually give you the most amount of stability when it comes to squatting. So when it comes to actually squatting, like, I am used to squatting in these shoes, and these shoes have a really hard heel, and you don't lose like a single bit of stability when it comes to power transfers from the ground into the weight. But like, that's why actually like the Metcon didn't sound as good when it comes to squatting, didn't feel as good, but I know that compared to a lot of like running shoes and stuff like that, the Metcons actually perform really good when it comes to squatting. So for most of you out there that maybe don't want to get something expensive and something not very versatile, that is something like an Olympic lifting shoe, this is going to be an amazing option, okay? Because you can actually go to the gym and do your squats and then like carry on with the rest of your workouts, and you don't have to change out of this shoe if you like are not comfortable in these kinds of shoes, and you like can stick to wearing this throughout your whole workouts, and even like throughout the day you can actually wear this shoe because it's decently comfortable for like daily use. When it comes to deadlifts, I really prefer something more like a minimalist shoe with like barely no even sole. Like, this is like extremely flat sole, so I really like this kind of shoe for something like deadlift. You can even use this shoe for like squatting, benching, and all of the things, because this really, like, when it comes to a lifting shoe, what you actually want from a lifting shoe is that you can actually transfer forward when you're pushing into the ground. You don't want a shoe that is like a running shoe that's going to lose energy and lose its shape when you're pressing into the shoe, okay? You want something flat, you can actually press into something hard that you can actually transfer force into the weights that you're lifting through pushing the ground, okay? So with this kind of shoes you can actually do that, and these are going to be really cheap if you're something that you're looking at for like not spending too much money when it comes to a lifting shoe. These shoes are going to be really good for that, and you can actually use them for daily use, okay? So if you're looking for a cheap shoe, you are going to go with something like an Olympic lifting shoe. I wouldn't even recommend an Olympic lifting shoe unless you are like trying to go into powerlifting, or you really like to squat in weightlifting shoes and you have the money to do that, or if you actually are doing weightlifting, okay? But I actually bought this when I was doing weightlifting, so these are going to be like pretty necessary when it comes to weightlifting. But like, if you are an average Joe, you just go to the gym to like work out, like hypertrophy or some basic conditioning, or just basic general strength training, something like a Metcon is going to be really good, because they have, like, as I said previously, they have the great blend of blending something like a decently hard sole, so this is not too much of a compressible sole as opposed to something like a running shoe, but it's going to give you some like decent comfort as opposed to something like this, okay? Like most people that do strength training go into do something like squat, deadlifts, power cleans, whatever thing you're doing, and after that they oftentimes take this shoe off because these shoes are not comfortable by any means, okay? You are going to be looking for comfort there. When it comes to these ones, you can actually wear them throughout your whole workouts, so you're going to be a huge pro when it comes to these shoes. Also, when it comes to something like conditioning, like performance carries, jump rope, box jumps, whatever thing, like also jogging and stuff like that, you can actually do this pretty decently when it comes to the Metcon. So this is going to be another great point in favor when it comes to using the Metcons for most of your training sessions, okay? So in that regard, I do really like the Metcons. And also another great attribute of this shoe is that it's really good when it comes to aesthetics, okay? Like I really liked how these shoes actually look when it comes to wearing it, like going to the gym and stuff like that, going to like talk to girls. No, but generally, like I really like the shoe when it comes to overall looks and aesthetics, and like it really blends like the great deal when it comes to performance and a good looking shoe for overall use. Like, and really I was actually thinking what I didn't like of the shoe, like what can I actually give to the review that I actually disliked about the shoe, and this is nothing actually going on, okay? Like, you can get the best of everything, okay? So if you want a really stable shoe when it comes to lifting, you're going to be wanting to pick something like an Olympic lifting shoe because you are going to be having a best alternative for squatting than these shoes, okay? Or even something like flat shoes. A lot of people like to squat in flat shoes because they have no problems when it comes to ankle mobility. That really, this like the thing with the heel is that this really helps when it comes to ankle mobility, like having your shin forward when it comes to squatting, and therefore allowing you to hip depth on your squats and to have like a decent depth on like overall in the squat, like even if you're not into powerlifting. But like you cannot, like if you have a really hard a good shoe for lifting, like an exceptional shoe for lifting, which will be something like this, like you cannot go to do conditioning, be comfortable with the shoes throughout your rest of the workouts, because these shoes are not meant to be comfortable, okay? Like that's why I like really good about these shoes, these shoes really blend when it comes to being good when it comes to lifting. So if you're like I said, if you're an average Joe that you just like to go do general strength training, you don't want to spend money on when it comes to like a shoe just for squatting and a little bit of other things. So these shoes are going to be an amazing alternative for that. This like really work decent when it comes to squatting, and if when it comes to deadlift, you can use this type of shoes, or you can even go barefoot. When it comes to conditioning, you're going to be having great workouts when it comes to this style of shoes. So yeah, that's that. And really, if you have a shoe that is great when it comes to comfort, it's not going to be great when it comes to lifting, and the other way around, okay? So don't use these shoes for walking, jogging, and stuff like that. Don't. You're going to have really serious pain. But the Metcons are great, okay? So yeah, I'm going to be wrapping up the review right here. I think I covered a lot of the things that you, like general people, will be interested in. So if you have another kinds of question about these shoes, any other style of fitness question, be sure to leave it in the comment section down below. And yeah, I'll be seeing all of you next week for another video.